It's time for everybody's favorite Saturday morning anime, Boku no Hero Academia.
You had a tone there, and I can't quite place what that tone was. Like worriedly, like saying that. I don't know. That was a weird tone. That's all I gotta say. I can't place it, but it was weird.
I, I'm sorry.
Nervously worried about where this is going to go. It seems.
Uh, no, not really. I mean, despite the next arc that we're going to go into.
Which it seems based on the preview, that's exactly what's going to happen. Maybe not much, but it is going to set up whatever going to go down in the next, I guess, arc.
Yeah, because we're out of the tournament in the second half of this episode.
Mm.
The Meta Liberation Army arc.
I'm curious how they're going to spin that.
Which kind of sounds a little bit of a mouthful.
I mean, the initial sound is something out of X-Men, but it's clearly evil X-Men. Like it's something Magneto would put together, is what it sounds like.
Oh. Speaking about comic books, two things from last week that I mentioned that I said I would get back to you on.
All right.
The one character who is like Monoma, is actually Ultra Boy and not Ultra Man.
I was gonna say, I thought Ultraman was the Japanese thing, who just grows.
I could have sworn there was an American hero from like the 50s.
Maybe there is. I don't know enough about, Marvel comics to like dig into their obscure characters and know.
Legion of Superheroes is DC, but I'm not like pointing at you like, hey, you're wrong. I'm just like pointing it out for any major comic nerds that may be listening. And since the Legion was all young adults, that's why he was Ultra Boy. And Power Girl is an alternate dimension copy of Supergirl.
Ah, okay, so not a clone.
No, or not any bizarro thing like you were mentioning.
Well, that was kind of under the guise of clone as well. Interesting. I hadn't even thought of that being a thing, because that opens up a hell of a lot more questions than some of like the Justice League shows I saw as a kid. Because I'm just gonna sit there and be like, how the fuck did she get here then? Because I don't remember an episode explaining how she got there.
Wormhole?
A wormhole doesn't go through time, or like dimensions, I should say. A wormhole, as far as I know how they work anyway, they only connect different parts of the same universe. The classic example is, imagine the universe is like a straight piece of paper. A wormhole is literally like taking that piece of paper and then folding it and going from one side of the paper to the other. Like, that's the classic example of that. It as far as I am aware, there is no scientific or any kind of justification that makes a wormhole interdimensional. It's just a way to, like, cheat light speed.
Can we just talk about how angry and violent Bakugo is?
You mean like all the time? Just, he never... How is he not tired? Being so angry and upset all the time would make me so tired.
I was actually reading just a little bit about Bakugo a few weeks ago to find out, like, what movie he got, or temporarily got, All for One in. I mean, One for All, and Bakugo was going to be a completely different character type. He was going to be nice, who always offended people unintentionally, say like, oh, like I'm actually better than you.
I don't feel like that would be as engaging for like a main character like Bakugo is.
I think that's...
I like the idea, but it feels more of a side character thing than a main character thing.
I think that's why he was rewritten to be Mr. Constantly Angry Explosion Man.
I mean, I have heard that Horikoshi wishes he could go back and change Bakugo so that he wasn't as harsh. But yeah, that is probably why. He could have totally slipped that idea into like Class B, no problem. But yeah, main character-wise, I don't see that working easily, at least not with this cast. You'd need someone else that would bounce off of him well.
But I would just love to see Bakugo like, hey, nice job out there. You could have done better, though.
Actually, you know what? That version of Bakugo would bounce off perfectly with current Bakugo. That would be really good. Just casually says something and he just literally loses his shit and is like, fuck off! Gum! He's shit!
Earth 2 Bakugo to go back to the Power Girl thing.
Yeah, there you go. There's not much to say about the first half of this. It's pretty much just explaining what happened, like why Minoma didn't get all for one or one for all. Also, now that I'm thinking about that, how did Bakugo not have his limbs explode when he took on all for, one for all? Because that's the entire problem here. With Minoma getting it. Like, you go to use that, your entire body's going to explode.
Well, maybe that was Deku just visualizing it.
Maybe. Again, I don't know. I haven't actually watched the movie, or any of the Boku movies. But the point is still, like, based on what we know about One for All, how the hell do you transfer it with that to just someone at random on the spot and assume they're not going to explode? Like, Deku's even worried about it when Minoma gets it, and Minoma has been training. Not specifically One for All, but training in general.
And I just love it how Bakugo was trying to force Black Whip to come out by literally trying to kill Deku.
Nah, man, it's the Super Saiyan idea. If I beat you to near an inch of your life, you'll get stronger, right? That's how this works. You're gonna get a Zenkai boost, you're gonna get shit, it's gonna work, alright? Trust me. Now sit here while I explode your face.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Yeah, a lot of it is just going over like why Minoma didn't get one for all, or it didn't work the way it should have. And it is exactly as we had discussed. It's literally just he gets the core of the quirk and none of the stored up power. Which does make it sound like even if he did swipe one for all, he wouldn't even get like the vestiges.
Kind of like when he copied Ares' power, all he got was the little horn.
Which is weird, because from what I remember reading on her ability, the horn is literally a representation of how much power has been stored.
Oh!
Like, remember, at the end of that arc, her horn disappeared completely. It was gone. Also, the way they explain it is that, like, when Minoma copies it, he has an inherent understanding of how it works.
Oh! Awesome!
Because that's what Eraserhead mentioned, right? Aizawa. He goes, yeah, I was hoping that if he copied her power, he could then teach her how to use it. But since he doesn't have the stored power, he has no idea how it works. He just has the horn on his head.
Well, yeah, there was that line.
Which is kind of interesting to just imagine, like, oh, he knows how it works. So even if he's up against someone, and even if he's, like, able to touch them and use the quirk, and can't fight them, he can literally be an information gatherer and just be like, oh, that's how this works. Hey guys, the quirk works like this. Take him out this way. Assuming the way they're talking, that's the way I have to assume this works. And if it is, he could totally be a spy and swipe people's quirks and just report on how they work to others.
Fascinating.
I'm trying to think what else really went on here. Again, yeah, just explanations between All Might, Bakugo, and Deku. We had the little training session where they tried to force it out, and it's like, yeah, this ain't gonna work, and Deku kind of realizes, wait a minute, it reacts on my emotions, and because I thought that there's no way I'm gonna be able to use this for a while, it's kind of locked itself out for me for now. So we ain't seeing Black Whip for a while is what I'm understanding out of this. Maybe not until, like, he's able to get to the next level of using One for All, like past 20%, which is his max at the moment.
Yeah,
Which I'm wondering how much the next step is going to be that he can handle.
And they were mentioning that since One for All has multiple quirks to it, it's even more like All for One.
Mm-hmm. Yes and no, interestingly enough.
Because it's not stealing quirks, it's more copying, enhancing, and passing them down.
It is more of a gift than it is a theft.
That's a really good way of putting it.
You inherit the quirk, and then you pass it on and gift it to the next generation, to the next person you deem worthy. Whereas All for One is straight up just, I'm gonna take that now. Thank you. Yeah. The One for All is a gift, whereas All for One is theft.
Your quirk is now mine. Have a good day.
You didn't want this, did you? Good. Tucks his pocket rocks away.
Yeah, my quirk allows, tissue generation. God damn it, what the hell do I do with this useless quirk? You can have it back.
No, he's gonna keep that, man. He's gotta wipe his nose sometimes, alright? Just pops it like a literal tissue out of his hand. Like, oh man, runny nose today. Goddamn allergies.
I would just love to see people with seemingly useless quirks in like some maybe 5-6 episode comedy spin-off.
It's an anthology series, really.
Because I do know there is a Boku spin-off called, I think, Boku no Hero Academia Renegades.
Huh. Is that where Batrook shows up?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I need to get revenge for the daughter that I actually sent to her death. Wah.
But she wanted to go, and I wanted to be a good father. I didn't know it would wind up killing her.
Mentally at war with himself. I gotta take revenge. But she chose it. How do I take revenge on something she chose? Oh my god. Oh boy.
She wanted to be a mature adult, but I should have kept her as a child.
Not allowed to grow up. Wah. Stay in the bubble and never leave. Wah. Yeah, no, there's not much else to really mention there as far as I can think of. The only other thing that really comes up after that is that, oh right, Class A and Class B are hanging out for a while.
Hold on, one second before the comment section erupts on me. It's actually Boku no Hero Academia Vigilantes.
That works even better then.
Yes.
Yeah, we have Class A and Class B kind of celebrating like the end of the training arc, and they're like, "Oh man, who was it? Todoroki and Bakugo are off getting their final test. If they get the license, we'll all have it. It'll be great. Yeah, let's make a cake." Also, Minetta's literally being tormented by Mina.
But what was he forced to watch?
See, this is the biggest question I wanted to ask on this review. Was what is he possibly watching that he's being scarred for life? Not to mention that it looks like she's got like shock electrodes strapped to his head.
Okay. It's like you watching some porn. If you get hard, you will be shocked.
You know, I like that much better. You're watching an ecchi anime, the minute you get above a centimeter, you are gonna get electrocuted.
Sorry for turning this 15 plus, but yeah.
Well, I mean, my first thought was, oh, he's getting forced to watch gay porn. Like, the man who loves the thighs and the breasts the most is literally getting forced to watch the one thing he never wants to see. But that left me thinking, like, then what the fuck are the electrodes on his head for?
So your mind was kind of in the same direction as me, but...
Oh, clearly, because what is the worst thing Mineta could ever possibly be forced to watch in his possible mind? It was that. But I like the idea of, you get a centimeter up and we're gonna go and electrocute the shit out of you. I like that option way better.
Oh, my god, sorry comments for...
I do love the fact that, like, Mina literally calls him out on his bullshit. He's like, it was just a convenient accident. Yeah, alright. Nobody's buying it. We all know what you're like, Mineta. You goddamn scum of the earth. And that's why that scene is our lovely...
retribution.
No. That's the one that we're using for the title card of this episode.
Oh my god, yes!
It was too funny for me to ignore it.
Yes. There could have been a few better ones, but...
There could have been, but I can't ignore the hilarity of that situation. I can now only imagine that he's getting some kind of torment like that every time he pulls some bullshit. That makes me feel better about him being a character there. He's getting tortured as a result of his stupidity.
And who was the, I'm going to say military officer looking girl? I know we've seen her before, but I forget who she is.
Which one?
In the training with Bakugo and Todoroki.
You mean the one that was, that Toga replaced during the, during that arc?
Yes, who was she?
I forget her name, because we've barely seen her, but I believe she was the one that had, like, the charm ability, basically.
Oh, okay, now I'm remembering her.
Yeah, she was only in, like, one episode after the replacement, in, like, I want to say it was, like, a filler episode, but yeah, she only showed up, like, once. Like, her actual character, rather than, like, anything else. Yeah. Bakugo and Todoroki both get their license, and we get to see them in action as a legitimate hero literally 30 minutes after they got it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So what? The one guy has the one dude's like flying through, like literally I see a tidal wave washing through the city, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? Because I didn't think villain. I thought, oh, there's a natural disaster happening and no one's talking about it. But no, it's a villain flying through on what I'm guessing is carbonated water, like a tidal wave worth of it.
Maybe.
Flying through and stealing a bunch of people's purses, because apparently he had been basically casing the entire area and planning out, this is when the heroes are gone, we can take it, we can do it. Yeah, this is perfect, no one's around and everyone else is here. Purses and wallets right for the taking. Until Todoroki shows up, and Bakugo, but mostly Todoroki.
And also Bakugo, but mostly Todoroki.
See, what I'm kind of more shocked by is that he didn't instantly freeze the carbonated water and that he literally launched ice at it. I'm just like, you couldn't have just straight frozen it? Or is it just like a distance thing, like he has to touch it to outright freeze it? Because it does freeze then. But yeah, we get to see that. Them going at it. Bakugo, like, basically manages to grab all of the people's possessions, while at the same time you have Todoroki coming in with the same attack he used back in the tournament arc in season 2? Yeah, season 2. Against Deku, but like a more controlled version of it. To literally cause the carbonation to disappear. Because when shit gets warm, it goes flat.
Yeah.
There was a nice moment where All Might, without any kind of power, literally jumps in and saves a woman who was, like, getting way too close to the action. And Bakugo coming in and actually giving them the save of, like, yeah, I'm gonna blast this, this light post that was, like, cut and falling on you. And get it out of the way. And he's basically like, if you're gonna commit suicide, do it somewhere else.
I just looked for the character. Her name is Cammy, and she can create illusions.
Oh, it's illusions, not charm.
Yeah, through her quirk Glamour.
That's why Glamour, I thought it was charm because Glamour, that word. Also, next episode's Christmas in this thing. So Christmas in June for everyone on the next episode.
Yay! Christmas in June!
Oh, that's right. And the hero that comes up to them is literally called Slide and Go. It literally looks like he's just, like, hovering above the ground. Like, he's not even moving anything. He's just hovering above the ground to move.
Okay. Even though they didn't say his quirk, I'm going to say it is a sliding quirk.
He's literally just like, it looks like at the worst, he's up on like his tippy toes with a little cloud behind him, and he's not moving a single muscle, and his cape is flapping behind him as he's moving forward.
Huh.
It's so ridiculous looking. It also kind of looks like he's got a chastity belt on.
Oh?
Like, it is weird looking.
Huh.
Oh boy. 15 plus, right?
Yeah. And I am going through the next few chapters and just looking for the word Christmas. And from where we are now, I don't think there is any Christmas in the manga.
So you think this is filler and just to like tap a little bit of like, hey, here's the setup for the next arc.
Either that or before COVID happened, this was supposed to come out around Christmas. So maybe,
but isn't this more or less on schedule with the other ones?
I
don't remember
sure how COVID affected this.
Let's see here. When was the season 3 release date? It was maybe. Well, no. It also released in April 7th of 2018 for season 3.
4.
So yeah.
Season 4.
Well, I'm looking at season 3.
So when did season 4 come out?
I can tell you in 1 second. Season 4, 4th premiere. Oh, maybe if this one was meant to release in October, but I don't know if it would have been done in 2020 because this one happened in October of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so who knows if it would have been landed that way? It might have been a little tight, but maybe. Because it would have went from what? If the original release ended on, let's see, September 29th, assuming that, the entire thing was done prior to them releasing it, so just say April 7th. And then to have this release in October, no, that would be about a year and a half, assuming that all of the work was done pre-release of season 3. Yeah, if season 3 was done completely done prior to its original release date for the first episode, its premiere date, it would be about a year and a half for season 4 to drop on October 12th. So about a year and a half for this season to drop makes some sense. So this would be about right, maybe a month or two behind. Yeah, no, that would be right, because it would have premiered in April of this year, right? That's when it started?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that would be right on time.
Oh, so no idea why it's Christmas all of a sudden.
I think it's literally just because that's what it is in like the Boku no Hero time frame.
Okay.
Like they've been getting their winter gear on.
Oh yeah.
Like their second semester is done. So I think it's literally just the timing of, hey, this is the time it is in the world.
Yeah. So was the guy's power within the gauntlets, or did he also have a quirk that would allow him to generate carbonated water?
I believe his actual quirk was the carbonation itself.
Oh.
And literally just being able to produce the water was the gauntlets. At least that's my way of understanding it.
That villain team is known as Cider House.
I'm very disappointed that they're not called the Wet Bandits. I feel like that's way more appropriate.
Yeah, since they did steal purses.
They stole a bunch of people's money and purses and wallets and left everyone wet when they were gone.
Yeah.
That's more or less it. I don't think there's really anything else.
No. So, next time it will be...
Oh, right, no. They get back and they get a cake. And literally we go from one frame of Bakugo being upset about the cake to Bakugo having a piece of cake in his hand, having already bitten out of it, and being pissed at Deku for being like, oh man, we can be heroes together, Kachan. Fuck you!
I'm hoping by the end, Bakugo will at least smile and like speak calmly at least once by the end.
I don't know, man. I think he's just gonna be an angry rage machine the entire time.
Yeah, that's not that bad either, I guess.
Just mad at everything. Like I said, I'd be exhausted being mad all the time.
Uh,
Like I think Bakugo has a stress problem and he needs to take medication to fix that.
okay, catch everybody next week.
Bye.